Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Casey. Today, we're continuing Brand Spotlight, my mini-series where we look at fashion brands through a bigger lens. Not just what they sell, but where they came from, what they believed in, what made them stand out, and why some brands stay powerful while others lose their edge. For this brand spotlight, I wanted to look at a brand that feels global in a very different way, and that is Issey Miyake. This is not just a fashion label people recognize because of a logo, a bag, or a viral runway moment. Issey Miyake is one of those names that built influence through ideas. The more I looked into the brand, the more it felt like a house worth talking about, because it sits at the intersection of fashion, design, movement, and technology. And even now, it still feels surprisingly modern. To understand why Issey Miyake matters, it helps to start with the beginning. According to the brand's official corporate history, Miyake Design Studio was established in 1970, and the business structure that became Issey Miyake Incorporated followed soon after. The brand presented its first collection in 1971, opened its first Tokyo store in 1974, and then opened its first overseas store in Paris in 1975. That timeline already tells you something important. Issey Miyake was not built as a small local label that later happened to expand. It was thinking internationally very early on. But what made Issey Miyake truly different was not just expansion, it was philosophy. On the official Miyake Design Studio site, the brand keeps returning to one foundational idea: a piece of cloth. That phrase sounds simple, but it carries a lot of meaning. It reflects a design approach that starts with the fabric itself, with the relationship between cloth and body, and with the idea that clothing can be created in ways that are more universal and less bound by conventional Western tailoring rules. In other words, Issey Miyake did not just want to make fashionable garments. It wanted to rethink how clothes are conceived in the first place. And I think that is one of the clearest reasons the brand still feels so different. Many fashion houses build identity around image first. Issey Miyake built identity around process, material, and function, but in a way that still feels artistic. The official concepts page describes the studio's work as rooted in research, experimentation, and collaboration, with new fabrics, forms, and technologies emerging from that mindset. That makes the brand feel less like a label chasing trends and more like a long-running design project that happens to take the form of clothing. Of course, when most people hear Issey Miyake, one of the first things they think about is pleats, and for good reason. Pleating became one of the most recognizable signatures of the brand because it solved multiple things at once. It created movement, ease, practicality, and a very distinct visual language. The official brand ecosystem today still makes that clear through lines like "PLEATS PLEASE, Issey Miyake" and "HOMME PLISSÉ, Issey Miyake," which remain central to the company's identity. Those lines did not just become commercially important. They helped turn fabric treatment into something iconic. What is interesting about those pleated lines is that they also explain why the brand has global reach. Issey Miyake is one of those houses that people may know through different entry points. Some know it through the main line. Some know it through pleated clothing. Others know it through fragrance or menswear. And when you look at the official site, that broader ecosystem is very visible. It is not just one product story. It is a whole universe of related ideas. That is one reason the brand travels well across markets and generations. Its international footprint also supports that. Official store listings show Issey Miyake retail presence in cities such as New York, Paris, London, Milan, Zurich, and Tokyo, which reinforces the idea that this is a truly international brand, not simply a respected Japanese label with niche appeal. That matters for a brand spotlight like this because When we talk about global relevance, we are not only talking about prestige, we are also talking about whether a brand has built real visibility and lasting presence across different fashion capitals. Issey Miyake clearly has. Another reason Issey Miyake remains important is that innovation has never been treated like a side project. It has always been part of the core identity. One of the most famous examples is A-POC, or a piece of cloth, a concept that explored making garments from continuous rolls of fabric with minimal waste and more user participation. The Metropolitan Museum of Art describes A-POC as a system where finished patterns were integrated into machine-made rolls, allowing the wearer to cut out garments from the fabric. That concept made the relationship between technology, design, and everyday wear even more direct. And I think that is what gives Issey Miyake such a strong identity even now. The brand does not rely on loud branding to feel recognizable. It is recognizable because its design language is so specific. The pleats, the movement, the engineering of fabric, the balance between art and wearability, all of it creates a signature that is hard to confuse with anyone else. In fashion, that kind of clarity is rare. A lot of brands have aesthetic moments. Issey Miyake built a design system. It is also worth mentioning that this clarity helped the brand stay relevant beyond the founder himself. The house today is not frozen in the past. The official site still presents an active ecosystem of brands and projects. That tells you the Miyake universe is still expanding through multiple design directions, while staying connected to the same core philosophy. So when people ask why Issey Miyake still feels ahead of its time, I do not think the answer is only that the clothes still look modern. A lot of clothes can look modern. What makes Issey Miyake different is that the brand was built on ideas that still feel relevant now. Movement, functionality, experimentation, material intelligence, and a belief that fashion can be both practical and visionary at the same time. That is a much deeper kind of relevance than trend alone. And maybe that is the simplest explanation. Issey Miyake did not build its reputation by chasing what was current. It built its identity by asking what clothing could become. And when a brand is built on that kind of thinking, it becomes much easier for it to keep feeling fresh, even decades later. If there's another brand you want me to feature next in this series, let me know below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.